barking like a dog.
I almost got arrested today. Stop it. Okay, you're right. I will reverse it right now. When I snap my fingers, and then you won't remember. I'll be like, you won't remember any of this. Snap, and then every day it'll be new, and it'll be hilarious to me.
My own version of Groundhog Day. And because I don't listen to the show, I'd never know.
Exactly. And we'll talk about it every day, and you'll never get it.
Does that technically make it a victimless crime? If I don't know.
I think it is.
I think that's the definition of that.
You know what else is today that's kind of stupid? It's Magnum P.I.'s birthday. Not Tom Selleck. Magnum P.I., the character. It's his birthday today. And that came up. And I was like,
weird.
That's a stupid thing.
Yeah. That means that one of the episodes they not only mentioned it but celebrated it once.
So happy Hypnotism Day, everybody. There's a lot of things that happened today, and I'm going to talk about them.
Since we're just doing the hypnotism thing, I'd just like to say you may all clap now.
One of my favorite things that didn't happen today but happened this month, the term carjacking was coined.
Oh.
Do you know why the term carjacking was coined? Do you know what it was called before it was carjacking?
Oh, God, no. What?
It was robbery, armed, unauthorized driving of a vehicle. Of an automobile, I'm sorry. Robbery, unarmed, unauthorized driving of an automobile. And that they felt was too much to say, so they changed it to carjacking.
I see. I always thought that I always knew that there had to have been another term. I always thought carjacking was a term used on the street.
They used the acronym RAUDA. RAUDA.
Huh.
Stop! The guy's committing an RAUDA. You mean a carjacking? I don't know what that is. We should invent that.
I just assumed because, gangsters always talked about, jacking this and jacking that. So I just assumed it was picked up as that term.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. It was a cop, I think, or a lawyer. It was one or the other.
Probably from fucking South Central Los Angeles.
Pretty funny. There's two more that just blew me away that I got to jump right to. Actually three that are really interesting.
Cool.
On this day in 2012, January 4th, 2012, the Saudi government in Saudi Arabia banned men from selling women's underwear. So it became illegal for men to sell women's underwear. Now, why this is a big deal is because women weren't allowed to work in stores at the time. You had to be a man to work in a store. So they had to repeal that law and make it so that women could work in stores because they made it illegal for men to sell women's underwear.
Huh.
How fucking crazy and stupid is that? Like, how come nobody said, this is stupid?
What I don't get is clearly that law came before the thought of, well, we have to let women work. No, hang on. We can't. Yeah. The thought process is really, you know what? We really have to not have guys selling women's underwear. Well, how are we going to do that? Fuck, we're going to have to let them work.
To let women work. It's so funny that's how it came about, but that's how it came about. That was my first funniest one, and that's the most recent. The second funniest one was in 1955. Way back, 1955. That was the year my mom was born. Disneyland had a display celebrating the invention of the bra. Because it was brand new and it was very exciting. And they called their display the Wizard of Bras. The Wizard of Bras. And I thought that's pretty fucking awesome. Way to go, Disney. That must have been like so racy at the time. They probably didn't even show them.
That's funny.
Wizard of Bras. Thank you, Disney. And one that's not funny, but very interesting to me. On this day in 1790, George Washington gave the very first State of the Union address.
Oh, how about that?
That's kind of neat.
That is kind of neat.
And one that's very important. That's kind of crazy. 1790. That seems like a long time ago.
It was.
Friend of the show, woman very near and dear to my heart, and I think Gord's too. January 4th, 2007, the lovely Mrs. Nancy Pelosi was elected to the House Speaker of Congress. So, congratulations on your anniversary, Nancy. You know we love you.
And we know that you've done absolutely nothing since then. Congratulations.
She has stopped some very important legislation from going through.
Exactly.
Definitely not nothing.
You know what else happened in today's history, by the way?
Yeah, what's that?
In 1847, Samuel Colt sold his first revolvers to the U.S. government.
And where is he from again? I don't remember. Colt.
Colt. Where would that be from?
That would be Canadian for you guys who don't know.
Is it actually Canadian? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, Colt is a Canadian brand.
Oh, well, how about that?
That's why Trudeau stopped selling the AR-17 or whatever it is. The AR-15. AR-15. He's like, Colt's not going to sell that anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Colt stopped production on it. But thanks anyway, JT. Thanks for making it sound like you did something. No, they just decided not to make it anymore. And you're like, yeah, Colt's not going to make it anymore.
There's actually, I mean, keep going. In 1996, on this day, in 1996, GM announced its first electric car.
I'm still not done with my political ones, but yes, they did. It's also the day Pontiac was introduced.
That's right.
But just something that's funny because the state of Nancy Pelosi became the first female House Speaker ever on this day, and George Washington gave the first State of the Union address. This was the day that a weird television actor Ronald Reagan announced his candidacy for president.
Oh, wow.
And he was just he was a random nobody actor. Like, it was out of fucking left field.
Yeah, he wasn't even a big actor. Like, he wasn't huge.
And it's also the day that Richard Nixon was subpoenaed and the Watergate investigation began. So big fucking day for politics. Huge day. Yeah. There's even more that I haven't even touched on yet. There's more. Way more.
Yeah.
Something that Gord and I both would find fascinating, and I can't find the actual list, but I want to. January 4th, 1936, Billboard releases its first music chart.
Oh, wow, 1936.
The very first Billboard chart. I want to see it. It was probably a bunch of crappy 30s music, but...
I know Pearl Jam didn't hit that list, though.
I would imagine. No, they did hit the top 10 best rock albums of 2020, though.
No, very nice.
With their brand newest one. Ozzy Osbourne did as well. So good on him. Who was number one on the metal charts? Oh my God, it was Body Count with their 2020 release, which I didn't even know existed. So I got to check that out. Very, very cool. We'll get to music in a bit. So many exciting things that happen on National Spaghetti Day. Where else? What else do I have? Oh yeah, There was a guy, a Russian cosmonaut, who was in space. While he was in space, the Soviet Union collapsed. He couldn't come home. Nobody brought him home. He spent 10 months in space.
Wow.
Because they forgot he was up there. And then when he tried to come down, they're like, well, you're not. Like, they wouldn't let him into the country because his Soviet passport wasn't valid anymore. And he's like, yeah, I'm in fucking space.
Kind of out of my control up here.
They took him like weeks to sort it all out. And they go, oh, yeah, he's in space. I guess he could come in.
Does that mean that he was the true inspiration for the movie, that Tom Hanks movie? Was it Arrival or whatever?
Yeah, I guess he could have been. The Terminal.
The Terminal.
No, that actually happened.
Yes, it did.
That story in The Terminal. That's based very loosely on a true story.
Very loosely.
He didn't. The guy in the real movie didn't bang Catherine Zeta-Jones.
No. Damn shame, because that would be fun.
My version, which I don't know where it is, I can't find it. My VHS version of that movie that I made is way funnier. Because I just edited in the Robert Zikansky video right at the end. So the door is open, and Tom Hanks goes walking outside, and then he gets tasered to death by 4 cops. It's fucking hilarious. It's so
good.
It's such bad taste because it was right around the same time.
That's fucking funny.
It's awesome. I can't find it. I don't know who has it. But if you have it, and you send me an email, gwynethpaltrowsvagina@gmail.com. Sorry, gunit.com, spelled MAIL. I would love to see that. It is really, really funny because he's so happy and everyone's clapping.
As soon as he sets foot outside.
Then the 4 cops taser him to death. And it almost looks like, because he steps into like sort of a foyer, and it kind of looks like the room that Robert Zakansky was in. I felt bad because I saw like an interview with his mom a couple weeks later, and then I was like, oh, that's not right.
But how much were you laughing while you were putting that together, though?
Oh, so much. And people thought it was terrible at the time. It was definitely way too soon. It was great.
That's the equivalent of Gilbert Godfrey telling the 9/11 jokes. Just
Yeah. But we cared about Robert Zakansky way more than 9/11.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This day in 1955, the United States government paid out $2 million, which was big money in 55.
Mm-hmm.
They paid that out to victims of the test bombing they did in the Pacific. They hit all kinds of, when they were testing the hydrogen bomb, they were just launching it into the Pacific. They killed a bunch of fishermen. They polluted a bunch of fish, which made a bunch of people sick. And it was for a year, from 1954 to 1955 they did this, and then on January 4th they paid out $2 million to all these victims.
That's funny.
So that's just, come on. And this after World War II. So they, like, what are you testing?
Did they just like to blow shit up? We all know the truth.
First State of the Union. What else do I have? Nancy Pelosi, first woman. Congratulations.
I got a big one for political. Almost.
First Billboard chart. Now, here's one that's not funny at all. Rosewood. The Rosewood Massacre happened on this day in 1923. An all-black town of 120 people was completely destroyed, burned to the ground by the KKK. And tons of black people slaughtered. One of the worst massacres in U.S. history. He was one of the first and the worst. So, and all by the KKK on an all-black town. So that's pretty fucking disgusting and stupid.
Wow, that's great.
There's still a thing. That's still a thing that exists in the world. So fuck you guys. And come on, America. I defend you guys a lot. The least you could do is get rid of those fuckers.
Trump denounced them.
Oh, no, he didn't.
He was the only group that he denounced.
Well, yeah, his denunciation of them was like me denouncing beer.
Yeah. What do you want me to say? Do you want me to say the words? Fine, I'll say the words. Next question.
Yeah, right? I'll say the words. Can you say them? Well, I don't have to later, now.
Yeah. 5 days later, he actually said it. What? I didn't say it? Of course I said it.
You didn't say it.
KKK is a terrible organization.
I'm not saying it again. I already said it. I'm not saying it again.
I already didn't say it once. I'm not going to not say it again.
Yeah, right? This was also the day that Nancy Kerrigan, world-loved, adored figure skater, stepped out to talk to reporters and was bludgeoned brutally by Tonya Harding's hitman, who hurt her knee so she couldn't skate.
Why? Why would anybody do this?
Why? Oh, it was the best. You know why? Bryan Adams could tell you why. In the number one song from that year, Everything I Do It For You.
Oh. Very, very cool.
No.
In 1999. I hated
that song so much. And it was on 24/7. It was worse than goddamn Nickelback.
It's true. That song that was huge internationally for him. That was because that was from that fucking movie.
There's the Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Robin Hood. That's right. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Awesome. I will get back to music, but yeah, that song was I will never forget. It was ridiculous. And it's a terrible song.
I gotten laid to that song a few times.
Number one song in 1990, though, was a killer song, also from a movie, Blaze of Glory, from Young Guns 2. And that song still rocks. Sorry, you had one you were going to pipe up in. I got tons of this shit today. So,
in 1999, the Euro made its debut.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. So that's when you had 11 nations that adopted a single currency, the euro.
11 nation army.
And there's now 19 members.
19? Ooh, not for long. Brexit's going to fuck the shit out of that crap.
Yep.
Just the way the Chinese did at Pearl Harbor.